business.
Hey, all right, Big Z, we got a little news here for you, man.
Oh, yeah. You got some news for me?
Yeah, what about, the restructuring of the contract there of Myles Garrett? And I mean, what do you got there for me, man? You think that okay, I mean, what do you make? What do you think?
Well, okay. I mean, it's that clear that they might be planning something there. I mean, you know me about Myles Garrett. He's one of my favorite players. So I can't say I'd be upset if the Eagles were to make a move, but it does look like they might move him. I don't know if the Eagles will be swinging that big. It seems like. Sills, did you see the rule that they applied for?
No.
So not only did they restructure the contract, but they got no cap relief from the restructure today. None. And they've applied for a rule change in the NFL that teams can trade first round picks up to 5 years in the future. Now, I don't know if that means that I'm just saying Cleveland is the team that applied that rule or requested or whatever applied for that change. So
are they moving him?
They may be. And maybe they're looking for the Cowboys to give them 4 first-round picks in the next 4 years.
Wow, that changes the game.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Would you give
up? I don't know if that rule is going to go through, but
let's just say this. Would you give up a 2027 and a 28 for Myles Garrett? Keep your one this year?
I mean, I would, but will 2 get it done? I know I said 4 is insane, but if Max Crosby was almost dealt for 2, and who's the cornerback? Sauce Gardner got dealt for 2 in the middle of the year last year.
He's the guy's 30 though.
I know, but it's still Myles fucking Garrett.
Dude, 23 sacks and 33 TFLs he had last year.
That's what I mean. How long? I saw somebody in here who was like, he's the best defensive player I've ever. He is the best defensive player I've ever seen too. I'm younger, but how long you think he plays? I think realistically he could dominate for another 3-4 years.
I think he could play until he's 35 at a high level.
Yeah, me too. Probably won't be the same Myles Garrett at 35, but who knows, man? Look at like Lane Johnson. I mean, he's maybe had some more injuries, but he's playing at a high level. Like I could see Myles playing at a really high level.
Reggie played at a high level. Reggie played at a high level into his mid-30s.
He's probably the best athlete in the National Football League.
He's the best football player by far.
How about athlete?
Man, those corners and those.
Yeah, they're different. They're like a different type. I don't know, dude. Those edge.
You know what, too, man? I'll tell you what, man. I'm in love with Will Anderson, man. I think that guy's a special kid. But dude, imagine this: you're 6'5", you're 280 pounds, and you can move the way you move like Myles Garrett. That's special shit, man. It's just he's really off the charts.
Does this get it done? 2 1s and AJ Kyle? No, it doesn't.
Oh, I think that would get it done. 2 1s and AJ?
They don't want to pay AJ.
Well, bro, you're not just gonna like the deal's got to be good for the Eagles too. I mean, you got.
Yeah, why would Cleveland, who's in the gutter, trade for a $30 million 30-year-old wideout?
Okay, I'm not in your camp that you think he's finished, and I'm saying,
you think AJ Brown's at the peak of his career?
I'm not in your camp like you think he's a fucking 5th-round pick now. I'm not in that camp.
Nowhere have I ever even.
Zander thinks this guy's like a 5th and a 7th now. I'm like,
I tell you what, that dude keeps stinking it up and talking up a storm and dropping footballs in the playoff game. We'll be lucky to get a 5th for the guy.
I don't think the Eagles would give 3 1s up for him. Would you give up Jalen Carter and a 1 for him?
For Myles?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Woo! That's about the stuff you're going to have to do to get it done. would be Carter in a 1.
Remember, the Eagles were willing to move on from Carter for Micah.
Carter in a 1.
It's going to take more than that.
Ooh,
See, I think you're overvaluing Carter right now in the trade market.
No, I'm overvaluing Carter in the Myles Garrett trade market. I mean, because if I put Carter in the open market, you're getting 2 1s for him. If I put him in the Myles Garrett,
Sills, if they bring in Myles Garrett, you and all the Jalen Hurts haters are going to have to cover your eyeballs because this team will march their ass back. Where's the Super Bowl next year? SoFi? LA?
Yeah.
Okay. We're heading to SoFi, everybody.
Here would be my new narrative. Thank God they got a quarterback on defense. How you doing? Wow, that might make Vic want to come back for a couple more years too, dog. You put all my, you can do it. Let me in. Let's play a game. Alex Hunt and Myles Garrett as your edges. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter as your 2 DTs. Your linebackers are Bond, Campbell. Your corner's Q. And your nickel corner is DeJean. You got Woolen at one corner. You got to figure out that safety stuff. Whew. That's hook. That's putting them up and putting them down right there in that front 7, dog. Immediately put you in the conversation as the best roster in football. Well, no, I'll take that back because your offense is underachievers.
Well, now all of a sudden you have like AJ Brown. It's like you next year you're going to be telling me better than T.O. like John.
No. I never said that.
Next year you're going to be telling me the guys the next coming.
This guy's got him as he's the next Julio Jones.
Yeah, okay.
That's who you.
By the way, Julio didn't age very well in the NFL. He burnt out quick.
No,
so don't bring that name up because I'll look more right than ever.
How about this? I got to welcome Diana Rossini to the Big Sills group. She says this is not going to happen until post June 1. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate you coming aboard.
This is like common knowledge here.
I've been on this train for 3 months saying New England and 1 and a 3 post June 1.
Yeah, until the Patriots take a receiver at 31 overall.
It's still not going to get it done. Dude,
yeah, it is.
They're not
trading for AJ Brown.
So wait a second.
I have bad news for every Eagle fan that wants to see AJ Brown gone. Senor, listen up, my friend. Okay? There's no suitors. Nobody's paying the Eagles a first-round draft pick for a $30 million diva wideout who has declining numbers, a degenerative knee, and he won't shut up on the sidelines.
And get this, folks. Just wait. The Patriots have offered a 2 and a 3. I showed you Zander. They've offered a 2 and a 3. Howie wants a 1 and a 3. We'll see what happens June 1.
Yeah, but that's when they draft the wideout. They're going to say, we actually don't need AJ Brown.
So wait, they're going to draft a guy out of Helen Keller University to try to get back into the Super Bowl and not go.
Just saying they're not going to be as willing to part with the first round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, listen, we know you have no suitors. We know the knee is bum. We know the stats we know the stats are way down. The best we got for you is a 3 and a 4. What do you think?
The knee's toast. All right, Z. Hey, I got one for you here. Do you believe it? I'll ask you this. As far as he doesn't believe it, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. Do you think AJ or his agent have behind the scenes asked the Eagles point blank for a trade?
No. I don't think that's the way AJ operates. He's proven that
AJ or how he operates.
No, AJ.
Okay.
AJ likes to be, what's the right word for this? Is covert the right word? He's not, huh?
Covert, like a spy? Wait, spy?
I mean, like, no.
A spy or a snake?
Covert is the right word. I mean, when AJ has a problem with the offense, what does he do? He goes on the sideline and he reads a little bookie book and he wants everybody to talk. When he doesn't want to talk to the media, he puts on his gremlin face and storms out of the locker room.
Wow.
I'm not talking. He does things subtly,
Lie of the hate.
He doesn't address things head on. So his way of telling the Eagles he wants a trade, they know it. The agents told him. He's never deliberately asked for it. But, you know, he goes on podcast and he winks at Julian Edelman. He does all these goofy things. He's covert. He's not open and honest about what he wants. He wants people to read between the lines.
So it's more like, hey, I don't want to be traded.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like a chick. You ever, you know, and all the chicks, I love all you guys, but, you know, you ever dealt with a chick? You know, they don't tell you what they want. They want you to read their mind. It's like, honey, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what you want. You've got to tell me what you want. It's like, AJ's not going to tell you what he wants. He's going to want you to read between the lines.
You think he's here or not?
AJ?
Yeah.
Dude, I have no fucking idea. I have none. That's the God's honest truth. I have no clue if this guy's going to be back here. I can't tell you one way or the other. There's a lot of smoke, but I honestly believe there's no suitors. Nobody's going to give a 1. Now, will Howie settle and take a 2 or a 3?
I want to play a game with you here.
All right.
All right. I did this earlier. By the way, get that damn StreamYard working right. What the hell's going on with this StreamYard?
Yeah, it's nothing I can do, brother.
Yeah, well, I know you can. I know it's them. All right.
No, I emailed them about it already. So I put in a support ticket and they called. I said, hey, I got Dan Sileo hosting a live show right now. The guy's about to punch a hole in his computer if the live chat doesn't start working. I don't know what's going on. It works on YouTube.
I did it on the fly though. I just hung in there, waited.
Yeah, you handled it. You're a professional. You can do it.